Thanks very much, Kimball. So, yeah, nice full room this morning. Is everybody awake yet? Yeah. Good night last night? Yeah. Anybody still nursing that hangover? Yeah. Did anyone get up early enough? I had to get up for an 8 o'clock meeting this morning, so I never made it to go out to the gym or go for a run. Anybody else make it to the gym? One. Okay. So Kimball's been complaining since yesterday that this room is lacking a little bit of energy. Okay, so would you like to shake off your hangover? Would you like to have a lot of energy? Would you like to reduce your stress? Yes. Would you like to do that right now? Yes. Okay, so let's have everybody up on their feet, please. Up on your feet, and let's have you on stage as well, Kimball. Let's just stand you over there. If I put this down, can you still hear me? Yeah? I know I speak a little bit loud. I'm not shouting, I just speak loud. So, what we want to do is, for those of you who didn't manage to do any exercise this morning, and I know we're a little bit restricted on space, is I want to do a little bit of yoga. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit of Hasya yoga. Anybody heard of that? No. Okay, this started in the 1990s, obviously in India, and Hasya yoga is laughing yoga. It's laughing yoga. And the thing about laughing yoga is we know laughter is really good for us. It really brings energy into the body, but the brain is not that smart. The brain's not that smart sometimes. And so even if we're doing fake laughter, it still has the positive effects on us. Okay, so let's try this one little exercise first. Let's try this. Ha ha ho ho ho. Ha ha ho ho ho. Let's try that again. Ha ha ho ho ho. Okay, let's spice it up a bit. We're going to do ha ha ho ho ho. Then we're going to do ha ha ho ho ho. And then we're going to do ha ha ho ho ho. Let's try that again. Ha ha ho ho ho. Ha ha ho ho ho. Ha ha ho ho ho. Very good. All right, we're going to do that again, but then when we get back to here, we're going to go very good, yay! Okay, and we want to we'll lift the roof off this building. We'll try to. Okay, let's try that again. Ha ha ho ho ho. Ha ha ho ho ho. Ha ha ho ho ho. Very good. Yeah! Thank you. Big round of applause, guys. We haven't finished yet. Get back up. All right, so, okay, not everybody was invited. Go and stand up again. Don't be so lazy. Go on, up. We want some energy in here. Okay? So, not everybody was invited to the private dinner last night. Okay, so you probably hit the town, and I know you have a lot of visitors in town. Maybe your first time. Maybe you went to the right bars. Maybe you went to the wrong bars. Okay, and although you had a really good evening, at the end of the evening, you go up to the bar and you get your credit card bill. Okay, and you know what it's like. You go, what? Did I drink that much Grey Goose? Okay, so on this bit of yoga, this is called the credit card yoga, and you get the bill, and it's just a matter of, did I really pay for that? So imagine you just received that bill, and let's just laugh it off and not get too upset about it. Okay, thanks. Right, let's keep going. Now, how many startups do we have in the room? How many startups do we have in the room? Is anybody a startup? Okay, one. Okay. All right, okay, how many investors do we have in the room? 5. What the rest of you doing here? All right, okay, investors and startups. Okay, we know it's tough being a startup. We know it's tough being a... okay. We know it's tough being a startup. Okay, and so you need to tell yourself every day, okay, that things are okay. So here's a little exercise for you startups, and maybe you investors, and maybe just anybody, okay, you need to do in the morning. Okay, but you know, everybody's sitting down again. Why is everybody sitting down? I didn't tell you to sit down. Stand up again. And Kimball, where have you gone? I didn't say you could go. Come back. All right, so here's a very, very simple exercise. Now, I know that you all hit the town last night and you might be feeling a little bit bleary-eyed. So imagine you went into the bathroom, okay, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror. Okay, and so here's something very, very simple that you can do. You say this: I am amazing. You are amazing. We are amazing. Yeah! Let's try that. Okay? I am amazing. You are amazing. We are amazing. Yeah! Now let's try that one more time with a little bit of belief in it. Come on, you're looking at yourself in the mirror. Don't you believe in yourselves? So try that one more time. I am amazing. You are amazing. We are amazing. Yeah! Okay, thank you. All right, you can sit down again now. So, I'm here to talk about this, bringing sexy back to B2B. This is me, I'm Rick. I'm an accountant. Okay, I'm a bean counter, I'm a boring old guy. What are we doing here for this session? Xiang asked me to tell my story today. It's about B2B and the lessons I've learned on this journey. Okay, B2B is supposed to be sexier, but the reality is B2B or B2C really sexier? That's a good question. The problem, to answer this question, really started, or the problem for me, started back in Vietnam in the 1990s. For those of you who don't know, I've been here since May 1990. I've been here for 26 years, be 27 years in about 6 months' time. And so that's why Xiang asked me to come along today, and he says, well, how have you survived here? You know, most people are tearing their hair out, and they've only been here for a few months. So, in the beginning, back in 1990, there was no internet here. There were no mobile phones. There were no fax machines. There were no foreign investment laws. There were no international hotels. And there was actually no tax either. And life was so good. It was so good. People say, you know, how different was it back there to now? Well, you know, if you go down Dong Khoi Street, okay, you could stand outside in the middle of the street, outside the Opera House, and lie down on the road. And nothing would ever happen to you because there was no one else on the road. Okay, you try that today and, you know, we'll be carting you off to hospital of what little pieces we can find of you. Okay, so it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. It has been a roller coaster journey. So 20 years ago, I had no idea about B2B or B2C. And if you actually think about it, the X to X hadn't been defined, so why not B2B? So a quick little bit of what I do, and then I'll tell you the lessons learned. We actually do 4 things as an organization. Okay, as I said, I'm a bean counter, and I've always been into technology, so we sell financial systems. So think accounting systems. Not very exciting. but that's what we've been doing for more than 20 years. The first year, the first decade, was really a labor arbitrage game. Okay? Consultants are really, really expensive, especially in Europe. The day rates go into thousands of dollars. So what if you could use a resource base that came out of Vietnam? Think of the margins that you could get. And that was the idea. It seemed like a good idea. It's a little bit harder to do, but we've managed it. In the beginning, the majority of our work wasn't even in this country because I'm playing the labor arbitrage game. The first break came in Cambodia, where we did work for a telecom company, which turned into a global deal into 16 countries, and one thing led to another, and as some of those CFOs moved around, they pulled us into the hotel industry. Okay? Today, hotels has done us pretty well. We do about 1,000 different hotels in 60 different countries. The other 20 countries are all the other business we do, like oil and gas, because I come from oil and gas, and telcos. So our labor arbitrages work pretty well. To that, we've added all sorts of other solutions because we've been doing this for 20 years. Some of our customers are nearly 20 years old as well. So they say, well, if you can do the accounting, what else can you do? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do the other? And we just say, yeah, sure. So we just cross-sell, upsell, and keep on adding, and we also we're very much into cloud now. We're the second Amazon partner in the country. There are only two. One is a small company called FPT, and the other one is us. And we're also heavily into Azure at the moment as well. Biggest industry for that is the hotels. I said we have 1,000 hotels in 60 different countries. They're now all moving to cloud. Okay, so that will keep us busy for the next 3 to 5 years. We also have an ODC, 150 developers up in Da Nang. The other thing we do is we do people. We do people selection and people development, leadership development, management development. The idea is get the right people in, get the best out of them, craft the career of their dreams. We did this really for scalability. Okay, how were we going to find more consultants? How were we going to scale up our ODC? I had no idea about HR. So I investigated it, found a scientific solution, found some software that's nearly 10 years ago, brought it to this country, localized it, normed it, do all that kind of stuff, and now we use it very effectively. So basically the idea was if we can get the right talent, the rest is going to be easier. If we've got the wrong talent and we haven't got the right people, then everything is going to be literally impossible. So we're very, very much focused on getting the people side right. The third thing we do is, well, we've been doing technology for 2 decades. So I decided, let's do a pivot. I've been here in Vietnam for this long time, and I like coffee. Okay? And everybody does business here in a coffee shop. So why not have your own coffee shops? So I picked up the master franchise for this American brand, PJs of New Orleans, and it took me 2 years to persuade them that their first site overseas should be in Vietnam. Okay, and we opened up a few months ago in Vincom, and we'll be opening our second store in about 3 weeks' time in the middle of December, and next year we should start roasting. Okay, as I said, this is an F&B brand, so we have some more brands coming. Okay, I can't tell you what they are, but they're very sweet. Okay. We're doing some other things around F&B. We obviously, if we're going to have coffee shops, we better have good baristas, so we're starting a barista school as well. And our partners can do all the global accredited barista training. The fourth thing I do, which is, I guess, is what people may be interested, is I'm an entrepreneur at heart. We used to be a young startup 20 years ago. I used to be young, and all my people used to be very young, and now I'm older. So we've been doing that for IT talent and ODC, and we're currently starting up something in music in the UK, HR, that's in Europe, media marketing, that's around here in this region, F&B, I just told you, and I'm doing a special HR for the mergers and acquisitions community, because we find that in a lot of M&A, you don't do a very good due diligence on the people. There's usually a culture clash. So we have some tools and things that we can use that can tell you in advance whether you're going to have a problem and how to manage the people you're just about to acquire. And we're doing some other things, but I can't tell you about that. Anyway, the lessons learned. What's the success formula? Why am I still here after 26 years, and how are we managing to keep creating more and more startups and have them all be successful, more or less? So what I've learned along the way, the first thing is, it's very lonely if you do it all by yourself. And the second thing is, it's really hard if you try and do it all by yourself. So either just accept that and be prepared to do that, or go and find yourself some good partners. The only problem with partners is partnerships can get really, really difficult when money gets tight. Okay, that's when the arguments start flowing. So make sure you try to preempt that by making sure you got some, I'm an accountant, okay, make sure you've got some solid shareholder agreements in place before. Okay, because you haven't really spelled out what's going to happen in this type of situation and who's supposed to do what, you will end up with a big mess. Been there, done it. Not all my startups have been successful. Be careful who you trust. Be very, very careful who you trust. Again, I've done a few startups and I lost, although I'm a majority investor, I still lost control of them and lost them. So be very careful who you can trust. This is the most important thing. Create a really strong corporate culture from the start, because it's your identity. It's really, really important. Okay? And whether you like it or not, as you get bigger, you need to have some rules and some guidelines. And I used to work for a big oil company, BP, and highly bureaucratic, and I hated it. And when I started working for myself, I said, I want no rules, I want no hierarchy, there's me, basically I'm on the same level as everyone else, and we share the same offices, and everything is wonderful. Okay? And then you end up with more people, and we've got 250 people now, and it just doesn't work anymore. Okay? You've got to put some structure in whether you like it or not. Okay? Keep your eye on the main goal and keep communicating it. We've got to keep going in the right direction. Okay? And make continual course corrections. The right direction may be there, but if that ain't working and we know we're doing the wrong thing, we better find a new direction very, very quickly. And you need to fail very, very fast and keep on failing. It's really important to fail fast. I'd rather find out that the idea that we're working on is a really stupid idea and ain't going to work this year and not the end of next year. All right? So I myself try and fail very fast, and I encourage all my people to fail very, very fast as well. Because it's basically pushing yourself out of your own comfort zone. And if you are not failing, it means that you're operating within your comfort zone. So how are you going to get all the breakthroughs ideas if you're never, ever really going to push yourself? Okay, so you've got to push yourself and keep on failing. And there's nothing wrong with failure. It's called, after a long time, you call it wisdom or experience. Okay, it's learning by mistakes. Come on. All right? So, as Zig Ziglar says, you don't build a business, you build people. And then people build the business. So you cannot have a successful business without a lot of successful people helping to grow it. So people come first. They really do. So you need to hire the right people, and you need to make them successful. Okay? It's no good just finding a bunch of talented individuals. How do you make them successful? Okay, if they're working for you and they're gaining their success by working for your new startup or your new organization, they're going to be very, very happy continuing doing what they are doing. If they cannot be successful with you,
then don't be surprised if they're going to go elsewhere, because you are not really helping them be successful. As I said, it's all about people. So how do we make them successful? And this is the secret path. This is the secret formula which we've been following from the start. And conveniently in 2012, I just happened to find a book that actually explained the whole thing. I thought, well, wish I'd found that a long time ago. Okay. So it's a book called The Slight Edge. Anyone read it? No. Okay, if you work for my company, if you work for TRG, it is compulsory. Okay. What I mean by compulsory is we recommend that you read it because we really, really believe in it. Okay, and in theory, everybody who works for us has read it, because if they don't, they usually don't pass probation. So, remember the poem from Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken, about two life paths? So two paths, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So what does that mean? We all understand how compound interest works. Put some money away, it's earning interest, and over a long period of time, it goes up in value. Very, very simple concept, right? But it has to be put away for a long period of time, right? When we think about life, making the correct, simple decisions day after day after day, it's the same thing. It's a compounding effect, and you end up on the up path, as opposed to making the wrong decisions or just very, very small, simple errors in judgment, and then you end up on the down path. Okay? So, if we look at successful people today, it's usually about 5% of the population. Okay, and that's being generous. Okay? So 95% maybe don't feel successful at all, or shall we say, they are less successful. Okay? Another way of looking at it is by making those positive things and the right things every day, is really taking responsibility for your life and your job and what you're doing, as opposed to, it was his fault, it was her fault, it was the weather, it's the economy, it's the new president. Okay? Are you looking to blame someone, or are you just going to fess up, get on with it, and take responsibility for your life? Okay? Another way of looking at it is, do you want to dwell on the past, which you cannot change, or do you want to dwell and think about the future, which you can change? Okay? So in the book it's summed up, okay, do you want to be on the up path and be the 5%, or do you want to be with the rest of the world moaning and groaning on the 95%? Now the key thing is that what's easy to do is also easy not to do. So this morning, I know I should get up and do my morning run, and I didn't. Okay? Does that make any difference at all? No. Okay? If I get up tomorrow morning and I go for my run, is it going to make me any fitter? No. Okay? It's easy for me to go up and run, and it's easy for me to get up and not bother going for a run. So, that's the challenge. The things that we should do are so easy not to do. So there are 7 steps, and we need to follow them, and this will lead to success. The first one is just show up. Just show up. As Woody Allen said, 80% of success is just showing up. If I'm supposed to be going to the gym every day, well, if I don't turn up at the gym, it's really not going to help. So I've got to show up at the gym every day, or show up in my running kit, outside every day. The second thing is I need to be consistent. Okay? Showing up is important, okay, but its natural companion, consistency, is what makes it a powerful duo. So we have to be consistent. I need to consistently show up every day and go running. And if I do that for long enough, yeah, I will get fitter. If I don't, I'll just end up being a big blob. The third thing is have a good attitude. Okay? Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. That's what Churchill said. In The Difference Maker from John Maxwell, he gives a very, very simple analogy. Imagine you've got 2 candidates, okay, applying for the same job. They both went to the same schools, both got good grades, both studied the same things, they both have fantastic experience. So on paper, they're both fantastic. Either of them will do. And when you interview them, one of them has a really good attitude, and the other one's got a really bad attitude. Who are you going to hire? The one with a good attitude, right? So it's not everything. It makes a little difference. So you've got to have a good attitude about things, not be one of those moaners and groaners. Okay? You've got to be committed for a long time. As John Lennon said, it takes a long time to grow an old friend. Who's read the book Outliers from Malcolm Gladwell? Remember? 10,000 hours to achieve mastery in anything. You don't do that overnight. You've got to keep on doing that. Hello? Can I have it back? Yeah. Nearly there. Number 4, 3 more to go. Where'd it go? Do I have this working? Hello? 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 I need to click it. Okay. Oh, thank you. All right. Have faith in a burning desire. Okay. There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definite of purpose. The knowledge of what one wants and a burning desire to possess it. Okay. You really got to believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing. Because again, just take the silly thing like running every day or trying to get fit. You've got to believe that it's going to work. 6, willing to pay the price. Leaders aren't born, they are made. Okay? And they are made just like anything else through a lot of hard work. And that's the price we have to pay to achieve that goal or any goal. So nothing is easy in life, really. And if you are not willing to try hard, well, stop complaining. And the last thing is integrity. As they say, if you have integrity, nothing else matters. But they also say, if you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. Okay, so your number one takeaway from today that I want you to take away is take the right path and never, never, never give up. Thank you very much. Now go out there and start up something sexy, even if it is B2B.